When people make a decision to buy a bottle of wine, they're usually confronted with a myriad of labels on a retail shelf, and there's just a wine that you're taking home to have for dinner, and it might be a fantastic wine, but there's no story. Buy Kings of Kangaroo Ground wine, buy other boutique producers similar to ourselves, and there's a full-blown story in that bottle. So try and find out as much as you possibly can when you're buying from the small wineries, boutique wineries. What's the story? Because the generic wines that you're buying that have labels on them, there's no story behind it. There's no individuals that have been involved in the process of making that wine. There's more to wine than just the wine itself. There's a story behind it and the craft, the pedigree essentially of the pure food that it is. Yeah, hi, I'm Ken.
I'm Chris.
Our business is called Kings of Kangaroo Ground. King is actually my surname. We started this business by planting a vineyard here in Kangaroo Ground in the black volcanic soil, which is pretty special stuff.
Kings of Kangaroo Ground obviously is in Kangaroo Ground. We are a part of the Yarra Valley, the GI for wine being the Yarra Valley. We're actually the very inner western edge of the valley, so we believe we're probably the closest working vineyard and winery to the Melbourne CBD. We're more or less 30 kilometres as the crow flies. Probably a little bit more with some traffic lights, although Ken assures me that we're 2 traffic lights away from Hoddle Street. So very close to the CBD.
The 2 traffic lights needs a bit of local knowledge to dodge 1 or 2 along the way, but you can get into Hoddle Street by only going through 2 traffic lights. So that's how close we are to the city. So we've planted it out to Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and it was a good decision because we've planted in this rich soil on the south slope that faces these early ripening varieties away from the strong heat summation that you get on a north slope. South slope's been an absolute benefit. Also grow Cabernet Sauvignon a kilometre north of here, and we bring in some Shiraz from a very good grower in the Heathcote region. So our portfolio of wines at the moment is Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Rosé, Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, and some blends. One of the core principles that Chris and myself operate on is traditional winemaking. We learned our craft through the amateur winemakers, where the tradition, the old ways of doing things have been done for thousands of years, are still relevant today. We're finding that by letting the wine make itself, by creating the right environment for the wine to make itself, we're not needing to add additives to our wine. So that makes our wines vegan. There's no animal byproducts used. We're not using any additives. We use yeast, and we protect the natural occurring level of sulphur dioxide in ferment as much as we can by having low acidity. So our wines are essentially pure wines the way it used to be. Now what's surprised us about that, by following the old way of making wine, is that wine show judges have been giving us really good accreditations. So for example, last year Chris and myself won 7 Australian gold medals and 3 international gold medals, and that success is continuing into this year. So the traditional way of making wine is really working for us.
Well, we're traditional winemakers, as Ken was talking about. We're also a little bit traditional in where we sell our wine. I guess we depend very much on direct channels for most of our sales. So that's cellar door, where we are here. Also a part of the King of Kangaroo Ground post office. So got a good association between the winery and the post office. People coming in to get their mail and can also buy their wine. We extend our cellar door out to local farmers markets, which is a really good channel for us, locally in Hurstbridge and Eltham. And we'll just push a bit closer into town through Melbourne farmers markets to places like Alphington. And Then just because our wine is natural, vegan, we're getting a little bit of a cult following, and we've just got one channel into a small chain of pubs and wine bars in around Brunswick and Northcote that are now starting to do very well for us.
Kings of Kangaroo Ground recognise that we're small, we make a high quality wine. If we try to expand, there's a likelihood that we won't be able to control the quality at the pinnacle that we've currently got. So we're small and we don't need to entertain a traditional channel such as the chains. The start we haven't got the quantity, we're only crushing 15 to 20 tonnes of grapes a year, so that's 10 to 12,000 bottles. We wanted to sell as much of that as we possibly can at a reasonable price point to protect our margin. So that's really working for us.
But it is a bit of a corporate philosophy. Is that
I know where you're going here, Chris.
If we're ever insert name of chain here, we failed.
Yeah. It's we've got corporate success factors, and we've got corporate, not that we're corporate, but we've got corporate success factors and corporate failures. We know we've failed if we're in the big chains.
I think these days probably one of the biggest things is understanding exactly where your wines come from. So, you know, you look on a bottle and it'll be a product of Australia. It might identify the region, it might not, but read which vineyard did it come from, where did it actually get made into wine, how does it come out through a distribution channel. So a lot of the time, just a bottle you might pick up in a shop, you don't really know its heritage, where the fruit come from, how it's been made, whereas here, it's all right behind us. We've vined a bottle, we know where every grape came from, we know exactly how a wine's been made, from vine right through to the final product. And that's again something you'll get from a boutique winery. You just won't know anything about a wine you buy from sort of one of the big boys.
Yeah, one of the things that I've been picking up is that people are coming back to us buying our wines and making comments like, we didn't get a headache from drinking your wine. We often get headaches drinking wine, so we don't know why they're getting headaches. Perhaps they are drinking too much, but I suspect it's the fact that we're essentially additive free and very carefully manage the sulphur levels just prior to bottling. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why people are coming back, because they're not getting a reaction, they're not getting headaches that they have from past experiences with almost unknown brands and high volume unknown brands. What we're on about, Chris himself, is crafting a top-end product, and that's what we strive for. So we know that if we continuously produce top-end product, sales and bank account will look after itself. So yeah, the rewarding thing is seeing people happy with the product and asking for it again and giving us some praise.
When you're in small business, you're doing it on your own. You're responsible end to end. So when it comes out the end and it's great and people appreciate it, that is the reward.
I've got to keep an eye on Chris all the time though, because he is one of the downsides around here.
Well, and if you stuff it up, you can't blame anyone else either.
That's right, and we're responsible.
Yeah.